welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. Arsenal sit top of the league after declaring, confirming that North London is red and always will be red. Chelsea, the pretenders, are giving us the side eye, pretending that they're not in this race, but then secret messages on the side say different. We're in this. We're on this. Watch your back. And then when you ask the question, you're in this race, they're like, oh, well, I mean, if Fofana stays fit for the whole season and excuse me, are you in or out, mate? You know what I mean? They go Koki, you pick one. Man United currently playing Everton at home. We've got Garth Lewis in the room. How you doing, Garth?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Good. Yourself? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but Garner is fuming. Has he been sent off or something?
Former Man United.
Yeah, sorry. No, I think Everton player's been sent off. He's been sent off. Yeah, Drissa Gay has been sent off. I didn't realise he's calling himself Gana on the back now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Gana is obviously what he's got on the back of the shirt now. But yeah, look, you know when you look at someone, you're like, and then you're like, oh, no, it wasn't. How did I get that so wrong? I've not even heard of Ghana, and it turns out it wasn't just Gay. What did he do? I can't even figure out. Was it off the ball? Oh, he did. He threw a little elbow by the looks.
Who was that? Who threw the elbow?
Sorry, people. He started fighting with his own teammate. Him and
I was going to say, if we went to you for like, and we're going to Garth at Old Trafford. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Ghana.
I'm doing a Chris
Cabral. This was your moment, mate, to show us.
Honestly, just as it cut back to me, like I'm looking at it.
We're going to go again. And we've got live coverage from Old Trafford from Garth Lewis. Garth?
So Idrissa Gay is 0-0. Idrissa Gay's just been sent off for violent conduct, I think, with his own teammate. I don't hold me to that. I think, this is what I'm saying. Don't hold me to that because I haven't got enough information for you at this time. I weren't watching, obviously, but yeah, 0-0. Been pretty dead up to this point, to be fair. The game, Everton been in the ascendancy, definitely been the better team. High press, really pushing Man United back, keeping them pegged in their own half. No real chances to speak of so far. Yeah, the only point of note is this red card, and like I say, I can't give you no more than he's been sent off for violent card. I think he takes a swing at a Man United player, then Tarkowski tells him to calm down, and he just goes for Tarkowski. If I look at him, I've got it on mute. Yeah, I've got it on mute. So that's what I mean. Like, let's not get too. I'll have a look on the old BBC app. You know what I mean? But more importantly, how are you feeling after the weekends?
Mate,
is that where we're starting today?
You know what it's like after you've won like a little derby. It feels different. Like if we would have just won a normal game, like Newcastle game, it was big. Afterwards, it felt like a turning point, big game. Like you win the game, you feel good. But do you know what? When you win a derby, it's just that different feeling. And I don't know what is in the water at Tottenham. I did a video earlier on where I said I feel like, you know, the magic water in Space Jam that Michael Jordan gives the Looney Tunes, yeah? I felt like Tottenham fans had that over the last few days because they come with a different vim, mate. They come with do you know when you walk into a room and like people, you feel like people are talking about you? That's what it felt like. The Tottenham fan base, it felt like they were having secret conversations about how they could win this game.
Champions of Europe, bruv. You're talking about the Champions of Europe, remember?
I don't know what it is, but mate, I saw like multiple videos that come out before the game. We're coming for you, like, you know, the epic background, boom, 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 Harry Kane, boom, boom. Like there's loads, like I mean, at least 4 or 5 proper edits. Yeah, then the videos are like, yeah, we're coming for you. Just you wait and see. And I'm like, what's going on? You don't usually get that from Tottenham. They usually keep it quite quiet. It's quite smuggy, sort of confidence. But nah, this was chest out. I think they got a little bit too excited from the preseason where they beat us in preseason. I think the way that Thomas Frank has been playing, where he sets up, where he's quite rigid and he's quite stops the attacks, but then can hit people on counters. I think they got a little bit excited, and and they turned up and did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, which was made it all better.
I only seen the match of the day highlights, which you know you can watch them on the BBC News app now. So it was a 10 minutes 48, and from the flavour I got from that was it was men against boys. That just like you were just better in every area. It happens in football sometimes. You were just on the day better in every area of the pitch. So
we were better. We'll get on to Tottenham in a bit. But Arsenal came with a game plan, executed it very well. Leandro Trossard, mate. Leandro Trossard. Like, you know, like, look. In the summer, this is what we're gonna throw out these we're gonna put these messages out now, because what I don't like is as soon as one of our players do well, people try to dig down the archives and find a tweet or you wanted to get rid of him and now he's your best player. Shut up. In relationships, friends, women, whatever, we have this. We have moments where we love each other. We have moments where we don't quite like each other. We have moments where we're indifferent. We have moments where we're like, do you know what? I think it's time to part ways. We have that in relationships. But ultimately, we love each other, yeah? And that's what it's like with Martinelli and Trossard. We have our moments. We have our moments because we've been together for a while, so we know what we like. We know our habits. We know things we do. But ultimately, when you perform, when you put on a shirt, bang, that's what we want. That's what we want. And my message in the summer was always, if we can get better, then we replace. And we couldn't get Rodrigo, and we couldn't get, I think other people were saying that Leao would do a job. We couldn't get a Leao, we couldn't get a Bacola or any of them, so we don't replace. And that's simple as that. Yeah. That's that. So we're going to get that out of the way now for people that want to keep on throwing it in Arsenal fans' faces, yeah? It was about upgrading, upgrading.
Yeah. And there's not much. There's not much in the Premier League that's an upgrade on Trossard. Like, I was just going to take the goal he scored yesterday was uniquely Trossard. There's very few players that score those sort of goals. Jamie Vardy used to be able to do it, like well scrappy, but yet still with a touch of class to it. Just like, you know what I mean? So these are very important players to your squad. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off.
So important.
You need those players.
You need them, mate. He is clutch. Like, and he was absolutely brilliant yesterday, and he's been brilliant all season. People questioned him starting the start of the season. You can't have any questions. There were people yesterday that were questioning whether he should start, whether Martinelli should start. For me, that was never a question because Martinelli's been out for too long now, and Leandro Trossard has earned the right to keep his shirt. He's been absolutely outstanding this season.
You're sticking with him. If you're Arteta, you're sticking with him for Munich, are you?
You've got to stick with him. He's been brilliant. Europe, League, whatever, he's been excellent. When Martinelli's come in, he's done really well as well. But Trossard, he's just got that little bit of extra class about him. He has that little bit of extra composure. And in those moments, even when it's not on, he can create something and score a goal. What did he do the other week where he wrapped it top bins against Sunderland to put us 2-1 ahead? In moments like that. And he's doing it all this season. He did it last season. When he came in his first season, was it 10 assists or something ridiculous like that in his first, 15 games? Like one of the best signings we've made. 20-something million.
Yeah, well worth it.
The
thing with Trossard, you were. I think it was 19 something. Well, I think it was under 20 mil. I remember being cheap actually, dirt cheap. But the other thing with Trossard as well is he's never been about pace his game at all.
No.
So age will hang on him well. He'll wear 35, 36, 37 well over in Italy. You know what I mean? Like he's got number of years left in his career. You see them sort of players. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
100%. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. And he is. He's that cultured winger that he was on Football Manager. Cultured winger. So a little bit like Perez. Like he's like the closest to Perez I've seen. I'm not saying he is a Perez, but he's that style where he slows down his pace. You think he's going to take it on, and no, he drops in. That's why he's got that. And then if you're not as fast, that's what you've got to think about. That's the way you've got to play. Yeah. And he's brilliant. He's brilliant. Declan Rice, excellent. Mikel Moreno. I'm going to shout outs to players who don't really get shout outs. Mikel Moreno, that assist for the first goal.
The assist was lovely. It was the dink over the top, yeah.
And he's got that in his locker, mate. He's got that in his locker. It's time to. I think Arsenal fans are on board now. Like, yes, some people want some of us to start, but I think now you can't question Mikel with the team selections. Maybe with this way he approaches a game in terms of attacking and pushing forward, but the actual selections, I don't think you can question it because Moreno is a Swiss Army knife of a player. Put him in midfield, he does a really good job. You put him up front, he drops a bit deep sometimes, but then that's for the forward players or the attacking midfielders to then take up them spots. I've been saying it to you for ages. One thing that used to wind me up about Martinelli and Saka is they don't make them diagonal runs enough into the box. So when the striker drops off, they don't go inwards and make them actual diagonal runs beyond the lines, off the shoulder of the fullback or in between the defender. They don't do enough. Trossard's doing it. Mikel Moreno makes you do it. Zubimendi makes you do it. Eza, they make you do it because they're putting that ball into them spots, and people trust that they will find them now. So there's more players doing that as well. Like these players have all opened up a lot of Arsenal options now. There were questions bringing in Eza. What happens to Ethan Mounieri? Don't worry about Ethan Mounieri. He's good enough to get minutes, and he will get minutes. There's enough games in the season for him to get minutes. We lost Martin Ødegaard for however many weeks. We lost him at the start of the season, and there's no need to rush him back. You bring him back when he's ready now. It's not, we need you, Martin. You're coming back 2 weeks earlier than we would like to. And now that 2 weeks isn't 2 weeks once he's playing. It's now 4 weeks to get him back to his normal, better form because he's playing on an injury. And when he's playing on injury, then he starts thinking about his form and it's not good. We had the same thing with Ben White and Julian Timber. Now we can bring those players in at a fair pace now and bring them back in the time they're needed. Eza, absolutely outstanding. I dropped a video at half time because I was doing a step by step because I wasn't going to do a watch long, but I just filmed as it was going along, like I was at the ground. And I said, Eza, you're not at Crystal Palace anymore. You're at Arsenal. Step it up. And that epitomises how he's played this season. That's how he's played this season. You're not at Crystal Palace, yeah? You ain't got time to wait for things to happen. You are the guy that has to make it happen. You have to. We're waiting on you. You're the 10. When Ødegaard gets the ball, do you think he gets the allowance to just sit there and wait for the ball to come to him? And then he finds the ball. He grabs the ball and he makes things happen. And that's what you've got to do if you're playing in that position. Bruv, within 5 minutes of me saying that, collected the ball. He's moving into spaces, getting the ball, and it just ticked. And as soon as that first goal went in, that was it for him. Bang, bang, bang. He just had this new level. Like when he scored as well, his chest came out as well when he was playing with a different pomp, mate. It was excellent. The players that have been a bit like, want to get a bit more out of the ones that people question whether they were playing, they stepped up big time yesterday and were absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
That's what it looked like, man. Like I say, it's what it looked like. It looked like Spurs didn't really, I mean, obviously, lovely goal from Richarlison, but something from nothing. You know what I mean? Ray just got caught out. It happens. But apart from that, it didn't look like I had anything on you, mate. So, yeah, statement win. Champions win. Well, champions elect. You're not champions, obviously. You know what I mean, though. Like,
don't get too excited, people. I see a couple of Arsenal fans not quite dropping it, but they dropped that. If we, like, to relieve that, like, stress that just feels like it just needs to come out. The brains like you want, like lips trembling as we score that fourth goal. Like I need to say it. Just go to WhatsApp, drop a little message to someone. Just say, we've got this. We're gonna win the league. Like WhatsApp messages are popping when it comes to Arsenal groups with me. Do you think I'm gonna say it out loud? Not yet. You ain't gonna
Not
get
even
that
Christmas.
yet.
It's not even Christmas, boy.
Not even
Can't we put that on record? Can't we
Not
put
even
that on
Christmas.
record now?
Don't do it. Don't do it, people. Go to WhatsApp. Say it into a bag. Do you know what I mean? Go outside into the back garden at night and scream it out to the neighbours. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry. Don't worry. They're not going to worry.
They don't care. They don't care.
But don't put it on camera, especially the way that everyone's a little bit excited. Like everyone, you're not just saying, "Oh, I think we're going to win this." It's like, we're going to win this. We're going to smash you. That's what's going to happen. You're just going to start going over the top. So just relax a little bit. There's still a way to go. You know what I mean? We've still got Chelsea next week. Like, let's not do this. All right.
Yeah. But looking good. No two ways about it. Looking good.
Looking
solid
good.
win. So
yeah, and on the flip side, Tottenham. I can understand a little bit of why they came the way they played, but like it's a North London derby, and you've got to show some teeth the other way. You can't just come and try and defend in a North London derby. It's a different game, and Thomas Frank will learn from that. It's a different game. This isn't any other Premier League game. You've got to show some balls in this game. Like because if you do lose, then you've got to deal with that for the next however long that you didn't even try. Like, and that's what I think the Tottenham fans are really annoyed about. But like, I'm seeing a fair few already say that Thomas Frank needs to go. He's out of his depth. And the thing that and I shouldn't be annoyed, but like, it's probably because I just like Thomas Frank. Like, you did this before, Tottenham. You did this before with Nuno, yeah. And Nuno went on to take a team that was nearly relegated to the Champions League. Like, do you not learn? Do you not understand that it's not all flowers and roses? It's not all tango and foxtrot. It's going to be a bit tough every now and again. It's going to be a bit like you've got to build the foundations with this guy and then build on top of that. You can't just go from Ange, what he did, to your squad, to the confidence of some of your players, and then go into what? An attacking, free-flowing football team again? Mate, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Like, you didn't get Eberechi Eza. You didn't get Morgan Gibbs-White. If you got them, that's a big difference in your squad if you bring in those two players. Like, yeah, like, just relax. Like, talking about sacking Thomas Frank, which was doing, like, before the Man United game or even after the Man United game, is ludicrous when you were still sitting in the top four. But you came 17th last season. Like, I think there's a contingent of the Tottenham fan base that have grown up solely of them being bantered, but being a decent team, but them getting bantered, and they're thinking, why are we getting? They're thinking, why are we getting bantered? It's because you haven't won trophies. But don't get that confused. That what that happened last season is okay. That is not okay. This is coming from an Arsenal fan. That is not acceptable. You cannot be accepting coming 17th just because you won a cup. We all want to win trophies, but you're losing the plot if you think that that's okay. If you think you could do that every season, because if you think that's okay to do that every season, and forget the league and go for just cups, you're going to end up doing what Leicester do. You're going to end up being a team that playing in Europe, but it's also playing in the Championship. Because your players ain't ready for a relegation dogfight. Trust me on that. Mentally, they are not ready for that. You've got slight players in there. You've got players like Gray in there, Bergvall, Mickey van der Ven. You think they're ready for a relegation dogfight? Not a chance, mate. And you are very lucky that last season the bottom three were trash. You are very, very lucky. Well. So you got like it's crazy. What's your thoughts on the Tottenham reactions? Because I know you're going to be upset losing the derby, but this wasn't just about the derby. This was before that they were sort of ramping up into saying that Frank ain't the guy.
Yeah, we're getting too used. This is Chelsea. This is Abramovich. We're getting too used in England to just dumping managers the moment it ain't worked after 6 games. So it can't go. You can't keep going like that. You really can't, because you got to give him. He's a good manager, Thomas Frank. He'll get the best out of Spurs eventually. But they've got to. Like, when you look at that team on paper, I mean, realistically, what do they have that's like super outstanding? The defenders are decent. Like their centre backs are decent. But then you get into that midfield and it's weak. Like, and I mean technically weak. It's not a technically strong midfield at all.
We've got Paulino, who's a bosher. You brought him
Yeah.
in, you brought him bosher, solid. But he weren't the answer. He's a very good addition. And I like Paulino. But he's not the answer to Tottenham's issues.
So, and they can't score, can they? That's why I saw a stat. I think, are they the lowest or second joint lowest for shots in a game over the season, like per match?
But have you seen their front three? This is what I don't understand, why they're getting so excited. Like, I think they were going through their team, and I think they thought that a little bit like what Chelsea fans were doing the other day, going through and going, Vicario, Raya, not far off. Romero, Van de Ven. And they're in their head, they're the same. Like, they talk about those two as if they're on the level of Saliba and Gabriel. Yeah? Pedro Porro and Jed Spence. Pedro Porro on his day, and Timber, they're thinking not too far apart. Jed Spence and Thingy, they love Jed Spence. You know what my thoughts on Jed Spence. Jed, bring your best winger, Spence. How you feeling today, Jed Spence? How you feeling the day after that? Jed, bring your best winger. Because got cooked, mate. Got cooked. So in future, leave the shades off and leave the one-liners to the professionals. Because you target on your back when it comes to that sort of stuff. Silly boy. I was hoping that Martinelli would show face and rip him a new one as well after what he was saying in that podcast. Sarr, don't rate him. He's mid-table midfielder, squad player at best. Paulina, I like him.
Same as Bentancur and a lot of their players. Like, they're good Premier League players. They're good Premier League players.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no one you're taking in this team over an Arsenal player right now. Not a single player.
Simmons, Richarlison, Kolo Muani. Yeah, he had that World Cup, weren't it? And I don't know what people were getting excited about.
Yeah, because obviously when Man United were linked with him a couple of years ago, when was it Juventus or Inter?
Yeah, Juventus.
Yeah. I was like, no. And people were like, no, but he's good. I'm like, no, he ain't. He's just like, he feels like one of them players, they sort of turn up, who've obviously got banging agents because they just sort of dot around like the top clubs in Europe, but they're never good enough to be there. Never good enough to be there.
I couldn't understand after that World Cup where people were really singing his praise. I was like, I know he scored some goals in this, but I'm thinking, what, really? And in January, when we didn't bring in a player, and people were like, why don't we just bring Kolo Muani? And I was thinking, I was like, oh, I do not rate the guy. Xavi Simmons made a difference when he came on. Not too much of a difference. Richarlison, he just wants to get into a row. So their forward line and Kudus, Kudus is all right. I think he's overrated.
He is overrated. He's overrated. No two ways about it. Mohamed Kudus is overrated. Yeah,
he's a bit like, there's a few Premier League players that are good, but people rate them too highly. Anton Semenyo is another one who I think is good, but people are going over the top. And I don't know why people are trying to link him with Arsenal because,
Matthias Cunha is another one, as you will know. I think Matthias Cunha is another one.
He's good
player. And people think I'm like dunking on him, saying shit. He's not. He's a good player, but that's it. He's a good player. It's not. I said this to you not so long ago. It's not insulting to say someone is a good player.
It's not. It's not. And you're right. Sometimes when you see a player in another team and then you put him into your team, then you see really how good he is, and he's just a decent player.
Decent player. Yeah.
And I think that would happen if Arsenal brought in
99.9% of us strive to be a decent Premier League player. I'm a happy man if you know what I mean, the obituary of my career was he was a decent Premier League player. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm about? I was always striving to get that third
goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Best life in football.
No pressure, take the wage, turn it on in training to make sure you're keeping everyone else on their toes. You're essentially like a coach. Do you know what I mean? You're a goalkeeper coach, but paid decent
Well,
money.
you know, when a coach, your warm-up acts, bruv, because you don't even coach and really just throw balls at the other goalkeepers for it.
Yeah.
You know,
My Champions League medal, I get my league medal.
Exactly. Don't even the coaches worry. You get medals as well.
Keepers. They don't have to meet that quota like the outfield players do. We get our medals. We deserve that medal.
You were there. Just before we move on to, I presume we move on to Liverpool next. Man United 1-0 down. Lovely goal from Drewsbury Hall. Against 10 men. And he was sent off for he was sent off for throwing a punch at Michael Keane, Idrissa Gueye.
Oh, what?
Yes, I don't know what it was. I've got a mute. I don't know what happened, and I've got it at an angle. So it looks like they just sort of come together. Obviously, there's been some beef boiling up through the dressing room for a week on the training field. There's been a tackle or something, and yeah, just stepped Jordan Pickford out of his goal, like literally like carrying Idrissa Gueye away. So yeah, he got sent off for punching his own player by the looks of things.
That is mental, and we've not seen that since. Was it Dyer and Bowyer?
Kieran Dyer and Lee Bowyer, yeah. That was proper as well. There was some tension on that. Both of them walked out on their pitch like, if he says one word, if he gets 1 inch too close to me, I'm sparking him clean out. And both of them were in that mood. Both of them.
And Graham Simmons is grabbing them both. Save for the game, boys. Save for the game. Take that and put it against them, and then like two bulldogs.
Yeah.
So Tottenham fans are a bit aggrieved. I can understand it, but yeah, talking about getting rid of Thomas Frank is lunacy right now. You need at least two transfer windows. They're going to bring nothing in January probably, but he needs to see one in the summer at least. And as long as you can get Europe next season, there's no reason why you should be contemplating getting rid of that manager.
Where they come 17th last year, as long as they come top 10, you should be. It's a massive pace of progression at the end of the day, you know. So
they're going to be talking about getting Champions League spots, though, aren't they? That's what they're going to be talking about. They're in the Champions League, and then their argument is going to be, "Oh yeah, but at least Ange got us into the Champions League and won us a trophy." That they have been so beaten down by rival fans mocking them for not winning a trophy. Yeah, that this is what they think is acceptable. Yeah. It's not. You're meant. The point was the reason why you got banned because you were good. Because you were good and you was running your mouths, but you weren't winning trophies. That's it. All that needed was to win a trophy. Jose got you a final. Poch got you to a final. You were close. Anything can happen on those days, but you need to keep getting to finals, and then you'll eventually win one. That's how it works. But you can't compromise the league position. That has to stay there. Yeah, you're going to get digged. Yeah, you're going to get bantered. But you have to stay in their position. You might fluctuate between second, third, maybe even drop out of it and come fourth or fifth or sixth. But you've got to stay in around there and look to get back in the Champions League. That's how you get better players. By getting better players, more wages. And eventually you win a trophy. That's just life. That's how it works. That's how everyone usually does it. But yeah, they've got this twisted view that you can sacrifice winning the league to win a cup. No. That's not how big clubs work. And if you want to be called a top 6 club, a big club, that's how you do it. You got to earn the right to be called that big club as well. So yeah, no, crazy. Next up, Liverpool. Is it 7 losses in the last 10 games? Yeah. What was it in the last 30 games?
You're getting excited, kid. You're getting me excited, mate. What's that again? 7 losses out of 10 was that? Suits you, sir. Oh.
They're regular crackers. That's saltine.
What a shame. I feel so bad for him, mate. You know what I mean? Because they're such a loving, caring fan base. Yeah, shocking. Watch that again. Didn't see that. Did you watch the full 90? Did you?
Oh, what?
City,
Liverpool.
Not City, Liverpool. Sorry, we'll get into that in a minute. Liverpool Forest.
No, I didn't watch the full night. I've watched the highlights though.
No. Yeah, say it. You've seen what I've seen. And to be fair, Man United were having games like this last year. It looked like Liverpool were on top for the first 20 minutes from the highlight package. Like should have put a couple away, and then just crumbled, conceded that goal, and then in the second half they were just barely even there. It felt like for a lot of the
They're
girls.
mentally weak and low on confidence at the moment, and you need the luck to go your way in these times. You need something to ricochet in, and when you're playing well, like you need, and then you're in these moments when you've had a bad game and you've won and you've not got out, you in your head you won't have got out the rut. So you need a good performance on top of that afterwards as well, and you need that luck to get the goals when you're playing well, and you get the goals when you're playing bad as well. Look, talk of and getting the sack, I think, is a bit far fetched already. I think he's earned the right to get out of this mess before as long as it doesn't get too much worse.
Yeah.
But what in the last 30 games since their loss to PSG in March, they've lost 14 games. That's 14 games. Oh, that was like Arsenal finishing 8th territory. Like horrible.
In all seriousness, how bad does it have to get for Liverpool for him to get the boot after winning the league last year? I think he's got to get pretty like Spurs, Man United last year bad. Like no trophies, coming 16th, 17th sort of position, like for him to actually get the boot. Because otherwise,
I think what he need is a bit like those two teams, is something to alleviate the pain, which is a cup run, a run in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Like that those sorts of things get people off your back.
Yeah.
If you can start getting to the latter stages and potentially win a cup on top of these times. Look, we've seen Chelsea do it. We've seen clubs do it. But yeah, he deserves a little bit more. A bit more. He got credit in the bank at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And they're currently sitting in 12th in the league.
Is it 12th now? Is it?
It's dropped down to 12th because just
Everton are winning,
just above Everton, but they're 2 points from 5th. They're 3 points from 4th. Like
exactly. It's tight. Yeah, it's tight. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's tight, and they're not. It's not running away from them. So if they can get a little run on, that pushes them back into the European spots, and then you can have it could be topsy turvy this season as long as you can stay within Europe and towards the end, there's still that push potentially for those Champions League spots. But yeah, look, he deserves. He won Liverpool the league, and it's only their second Premier League in 30 years.
Yeah,
the great Klopp won it once.
Exactly. That's what I mean. He's got time. I know Liverpool fans are getting impatient because this is turning into a horrible title defence. Horrible. Absolutely.
The worst. Some would say one of the worst.
One of the worst you've ever seen. Of course it is. It's right there. It's one of the worst. I'm sure there'll be fans that want to suggest other ones. Fair enough. But for me at the moment, this is horrific for the 12th. You know what I mean? Off the back of a dominating season as well the year before, apparently. And this was going to be their era. They won the transfer market. There's troubles there. You know what I mean? Big troubles at Liverpool at the moment. But it's with that league win from last year, like you said, it's only the second time they've done it in 30 years. Klopp only got one. He's got time on his side. You can't get rid of him yet. I feel like you've got, like I say, unless it gets horrible. I mean, to be fair, though, you're on that cusp of horrible. 7 defeats out of 10. 14 out of 30, you know what I mean? Like only 30.
What have you seen that's the major issue? What are you seeing?
Change of philosophy, clearly. I don't watch Liverpool enough to know like the ins and outs of it, but players like Salah don't go from the 10 years they've had to nothing overnight on their form's gone. This does not. He'll still be bagging goals here and there. It's clearly a system issue. The loss of Trent, the loss of Diaz, they've not recovered from it and they haven't figured out how to play without them. Pure and simple, it feels like to me. Slot's trying something different. They bought poorly in the window.
Yeah.
Like Trot's obviously trying something slightly different to what worked from last year. And then in the window, they've gone out and signed like marquee names for the sake of signing marquee names, I think. It's beginning to feel like no real effort was put into identifying where these players were going to play and what they were bringing to the team more. Not where they're going to play, but what exactly their role in the team was. They were just expected to adapt into a role that was already there. And Verts clearly hasn't. We all knew about Frimpong, obviously. Kirkes hasn't adapted at all. I'm surprised at. You shot TK's form to shreds by signing a new striker to replace him after you just signed him. The new striker ain't doing it. Like, yeah, it's a multitude of problems. It's a plethora of problems, and I think he deserves the chance to sort of work them out. In the modern game, you actually don't know who signed these players anymore. In the modern game, everyone gets around the table and talks about it at the end, but you don't know who initiated this signing. You know what I mean? Like, who really wants X player? Who really wanted Isaac? Was it the powers that be above? You know, like because they Isaac. Was it the powers that be above? You know what I mean? Who really wanted first? They're all players we would have wanted, so I'm not saying you wouldn't want them, but yeah, you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes there because it's a dramatic turnaround. And I can only think of system, because otherwise it's the truth is that he won the league with another man's team. Came in, caretaker managed a team that was already well drilled and well oiled to a type. I don't say again.
Caretaker managed.
Yeah, well, that's what he's doing. Like, because that's the only other excuse for it is he was actually never that good. He come in, they just told them to keep doing what Klopp had been doing for 10 years. Like, while we've got, you all know better than me, your leadership team's going to tell you what to do, bring certain ideas in, and in this season he's got free range, got his hands on the reins properly, and they're a miss. I'm not saying that is what it is. I'm just saying that's the only other option. Like, that is it. His system, he's trying something that he's not working, and the new signings aren't working either. Yeah, he just weren't that good, man. But yeah, they're in trouble because that performance, from what I saw, was tepid from them after they conceded that goal.
Abject.
Yeah.
Their midfield last season, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai in the 10-8, Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, Jota or Nunez up top. Why did they bring in Wirtz? Did they? Because are they looking to upgrade a Szoboszlai? Like,
I'm guessing so. I mean, this is what I'm saying about they've not done their research properly. Because if you're someone like me who's just been told by a few people that Wirtz is well good, seen a couple of highlights here and there, like, I was worried that Liverpool signed him. You know, I wanted to see what he was about. You know what I mean? But clearly, like, the work has not been done on how he would adapt to the Premier League. The data scientists, the this, the that, all of these people have not they've brought in a player that they think can do a job that he can't do clearly in the Premier League. It happens a lot.
He's not playing his own game because he's worried he's going to get absolutely clumped.
Yeah, now he's in his own head. Like, listen, we keep saying because of his actual ability, I'm sure he'll get decent. But at the moment, terrible. And like, you can't have that. You know what I mean? Because now what you do? Do you not play him every week?
Yeah.
Like, I think he was injured yesterday, weren't
he? Is he injured?
Yeah, he definitely weren't in the team. I'm sure he weren't. So he was out of the squad anyway. But yeah, look. Bottom line is, even if Forest weren't really poor at the moment, like they are, getting thumped 3-0 at home to a Forest side when you're reigning champions, there's no excuse for it. So, like you're saying, I understand Liverpool fans' complaints. I get it, you know what I mean. But there's no excuse for that sort of defeat. But yeah, you got, just like Spurs fans, you really need to slow down a little bit here. Like, because who's out there as well? Like, he'll do this all the time now. Sack him for who? Tell me who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
No, don't say Zidane.
Xavi Hernandez.
Don't say Zidane or Xavi, because Zidane's outright said he's never coming to the Premier League. He don't want to learn English. He outright said it. He's like, I don't want to learn English. Doesn't mean he'll never come.
He'd be a French manager. He don't want to ruin his legacy. He won 4 Champions Leagues on the trot. Was it on the trot?
3 on the trot, definitely. 3 on the trot, definitely. Yeah.
Won 4 Champions Leagues as a Real Madrid legend, then to manager. Why would you want to come to Liverpool? Why would you want to go to any team in the Premier League? You're going to France. I'll win France World Cup. That's it.
Yeah.
You're not going to mess that up.
So then you're really down to nobody. Like, that's always saying nobody. But you're taking a gamble. You sack a manager right now. You're taking a gamble on who you bring in. There's no experienced elite managers out there that you're going to get in. Who's going to do? Who's going to do a better job right now? You know, I'm not saying there isn't better managers. There might be, but you don't know. It's a gamble. Whoever you bring in now from this point on, you know.
Yeah, and like, I'm trying to think. Liverpool. What big name managers Liverpool bring in? They don't bring in that manager. They bring in Arne Slot.
Yeah.
They bring in those sorts of managers, like a little bit under the radar managers. They don't do the
bottom line is, if you sack a manager right now, you're probably talking Gareth Southgate. you're probably talking Gareth Southgate takes that. If you're a big Premier League club, because that's what he's waiting around for now, and Gareth Southgate's waiting around for that big league club to come in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're Liverpool, if you're Man United, obviously Arsenal aren't doing it. If you're Spurs,
oh yeah, Spurs area if they're looking to say get rid of Thomas Frank, because it is.
Yeah.
It's
Gareth Southgate, yeah. Gareth Southgate. And I'm not saying he'll do a terrible job, but we all know what his football's going to be like. You know what I mean? So be very careful. But yeah, as for the performance on the pitch, abject, like you said, bruv. Piss poor. The players, this is one of the ones where the players need to look at themselves in the face. They need to get in front of a mirror, you know what I mean? And really, because as a fan, and I'm sure it's not true, but as a fan, it does feel a lot like you lot aren't putting enough effort in. I was like this with Man United, I still am. Like you're not putting enough effort on the fielding. I think you were saying about something Gary Neville said. Well,
Gary Neville made some really good points on the Gary Neville podcast, where he basically said you've got to look at yourself in the mirror, like you said. You've got to, whether it's going to bed early, or all of it, go to bed early, put it in on the training, eat right, sleep right, do everything right. And then at the end of the week, before the game, you can look at yourself and say you've put in everything to make sure that you're prepared for this performance. Like you've stretched every option to make sure you can go back to how we were, and then you build off of that. You've got to go back to basics. It is. And I wanted to touch on this one as well. Do you think they underestimated losing the likes of Diaz, second top goal scorer for the last 2 seasons? And did they bring in a replacement?
I think they underestimated Diaz as the player because they just presumed they could bring someone else in to replace what he does, and clearly that hasn't worked. Or move Gakpo there, and Gakpo's going to do it. You know, Wirtz is going to move in there. The slacker we picked up because it's not been replaced.
He's pressing style with aggressive South American style.
Everything about him,
Yeah, it's
a nasty player to play against. Yeah, nasty player to play against. Very, very good. But that's what I'm wondering about. What went down with I'd like to know what went down with the transfers with Liverpool this year, because it doesn't feel like a manager who knows what he's doing is just buying all these players and letting players go. So I think there was some boardroom level shenanigans maybe not boardroom, but football department level shenanigans that went down about what sort of players they wanted. So,
well, there was Liverpool fans said that Diaz wanted to leave, but I dug into it, and Diaz wanted. And it turns out because he was on 55 grand a week, and that was last season prior to that as well. And because players were getting bigger contracts or getting contract renewals while he was on that 55k a week, players like Connor Bradley were on more than him. Gakpo obviously came in after him, was on more than him. So he felt a little bit aggrieved, as you would.
100%.
That players in around him were getting paid more, and he was still on that 55 grand a week. And this is the reason why Arsenal offered Trossard a new contract, because obviously they realised they weren't going to get in another left winger, and to keep him happy, they offered him a pay rise, and people were couldn't understand that. Well, look at what's happened to Trossard since. You get a player who's now not happy that he can be rotated, but if he is rotated, that little bit of extra pay packet keeps him quiet, keeps him sweet.
Exactly.
When he does play, you feel like you've got to give more. You want to give more. You give that. It gives him a lift. You've got a bit of pay rise. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it just makes sense. It just makes sense to show them you appreciate what they've done. You appreciate what they're doing. Diaz didn't feel appreciated, and the moment he can get out, he got out. And look at where Liverpool are now. Yeah, silly. So as we said, don't be too rash. Don't be too rash.
No, don't be too rash.
Some of us are enjoying this. There you go.
Loving it. Every moment of their absolute turmoil. It's delicious. But anyway.
And now on to Manchester City. City had an opportunity to close the gap on Arsenal on Saturday away at Newcastle at Goodison Park. Literally 10 minutes into the game, I think I sent you a message saying Man City don't look good. They don't look like the Man City that played against Liverpool the other day. They look a bit rusty. They look a bit slow. They look a bit lethargic on the ball, and there's not really much service getting to Haaland. So I wasn't surprised at the outcome of that game. It's just more of a I was hoping that they were going to drop points, but by the end of it, I wasn't surprised at the way I'd seen them start.
They're just up and down at the moment. They are like 1 week I'm watching them, they look banging, and then the next week they're just abject is the word again.
Yeah, and the way Arsenal playing, teams can't really afford to do that. They're still very much in this race. There's no right in Manchester City off. It only takes one game to spark them and to get the life back in their souls. I think Rodri was Rodri out on the weekend. I think he was. I think Rodri was still out on the weekend. But when he comes back and gets back to full fitness, it's Man City. It's Man City. So, I wouldn't write them off. Let's see. Was he in the squad? Because he definitely didn't play. It looks like Rodri's probably suffering from an injury again, which is probably a bit of a worry for Man City. Because what is it? An ACL injury, and then they've not been able to recover from that ACL injury the way they want to. The way they want them to. Let me just quickly bear with me. I just want to see. I just want to see how long Rodri is sidelined for. When will Rodri return? Recent injury limited. Sorry, bear with me. Oh, what that is in the background. It looks like they're trying to be cautious, which is a concern. That's a big, big worry if I'm a Man City fan, that Rodri's still out injured with no real timeline of when he's potentially going to come back. I'd be a bit concerned about that. ACL injuries are not to be messed with, and when they're dragged out longer than this, that's a real concern. And Rodri made up a big part of Manchester City's nucleus of why they were such a good team. Garth's laptop just shut down, and it's decided to do a backup. Don't we all love that one? Manchester City, I'll be a bit worried about the fact that they haven't got a Rodri, but it's City, and they can go on a run. They can go on a big run and keep that pressure on Arsenal. But Chelsea is still there as well. Chelsea, who like to seem to not want to say they're in this title race, but they very much are. You can't be Chelsea 6 points behind Arsenal in the Premier League. They're in good form at the moment. I think that Palmer's on his way back, if I'm not correct. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to pull up the Cole Palmer news for the Chelsea game. Yeah, Cole Palmer's seen in training ahead of his, I think he had a broken toe. Major boost as Maresca issues new update, and Cole Palmer is back in training ahead of the Arsenal game this weekend. Let's pull this story up. Why not? We'll pull the story up. Share screen. Before we do go on, if you are new to the show, press that subscribe button. We appreciate your support. If you are a regular, press that like and press that share button. You just have to press the share button and the little paperclip. That makes a difference because it's essentially saying that you've copied it and you may have passed it on to someone else. That all counts. Make sure you press that hype button after the show as well. Really appreciate that. Enzo Maresca has revealed that Cole Palmer is feeling good following his return to individual training after suffering a fractured toe. Palmer was last week closing in on a return to Chelsea after 2 months out with his persistent groin problem when he suffered a freak injury at home on Wednesday. The England international stubbed his little toe on his left foot on the door, which saw him being ruled out of action for the 2-0 win over Burnley or against Barcelona or Arsenal this week. Palmer's left boot has been adapted with more cushioning in the added area around the injured toe in a bid to speed up his return. Look, we all know that a stubbed toe is no joke, and especially if you stubbed your toe so badly that you had to be out injured in a game on that weekend when you was due to come back in. that tells me that with the little toe, which you break multiple times of the year, that wasn't just a stub. That was it completely broke. Yeah. But you can play on that. You can play on that. Like, don't tell me you can't play on that stub toe. It's going to be a bit sore. But once that bruising, once that swelling goes down, take a painkiller. It's not the big toe. It's your little toe. There's a big difference. So, do I expect Cole Palmer to play against Arsenal on the weekend? I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I would not be surprised if he did. On Chelsea in this Premier League campaign, for me, they're in this race. People can pretend they're not, but Chelsea are currently sitting only 6 points off of Arsenal, and with them playing Arsenal this weekend, it's an opportunity to claw back 3 points, which Arsenal will not be able to get. The old classic 6-pointer. So, yeah, Chelsea in the last five games have won 4, lost 1. Arsenal in the last 5 games have won 4, drawn 1. So it's very, very close, very, very tight. And Chelsea have hit a nice bit of form. So I fully expect Chelsea to be in this race. All right. Before we go, we will quickly touch base on. Sorry, bear with me again. There he is. Just on time. Welcome, Garth, back to the room. I'm sure you had an opportunity to. Oh, do I need to invite you in? Oh, there you go. I'm sure you had an opportunity to give us a little update on the Man United game. Anything happening at the moment?
It's half time. So half time's gone 1-0. Everton, 10 men. Nice goal for them as well. Very nice goal. I just saw a stat that said Zertsky has touched the ball. The third least person to touch the ball on the pitch. One of them's been on for 9 minutes. The other one got sent off on 13 for throwing a punch at another player. So, yeah, Zertsky obviously having a bad game. To be fair, like I said, I've had it on in the periphery as I'm talking to you on the show, so I've not really seen it. It looks very bitty from what I'm seeing. Very mid-table clash. Just, yeah, not much of anything going on, to be fair. But from what I've seen, Everton deserve their lead.
Yeah. Chelsea, just before we're going to go to touch base on Chelsea. 6 points behind Arsenal in this Premier League campaign. They're starting to get a nice little run of wins. 4 wins, 1 loss in the last 5 games. Players are starting to pick up a little bit of form as well. Estevio?
Yeah, Estevio, yeah.
Estevo, the winger, is looking like he's in good form. I think it was 8 goal contributions so far this season.
Is he? Oh,
yeah.
I said you messaged earlier, didn't I? What's the hype about him? I haven't seen too much of him. When I have, he looked a bit, but that's good numbers. That's good numbers for a young kid coming in from Brazil. That's decent numbers.
Yeah. He's doing really, really well. What is it? Let's just confirm. It's in all comps, I think it is.
But still, still, you know what I mean? It's still good numbers this early in the season for a rookie.
Yeah,
they've got a decent squad, man. That's what I said at the start of the season. If he can get them to click, if he can get them working, like if he can find 20 players in the 400 that he's got that he can trust and mold into a team, there must be a good team in all those players.
It's just finding that balance, isn't it? Finding that balance.
The problem is their business model will not let them find that balance here. That's the big problem. Is as soon as someone they're going to be looking for a seller for a buyer for him. Sorry.
Do you think that stretches out to someone like a Cole Palmer as well?
Yeah, I think it does. Like obviously, I think Chelsea are the very epitome of everyone's got a price. Now, whether anyone will meet the price for Cole Palmer is a different matter. You know, and I'm sure people say everyone's got a price. I'm talking like yes, obviously, if Arsenal would never sell Saka, but if someone offered 300 mil for him, you'd be like, all right, yeah, go. You know, but I'm talking about a reasonable price. Every player at Chelsea's got a reasonable price on there. There's a figure. I wouldn't be surprised if they've got that written down somewhere. The figure we'll accept for X player, you know what I mean? Because that's how they're running their business at the moment. So yeah, I think even a Cole Palmer, if someone dropped 110, 120 mil bid right now, I think they'd sell him personally.
To me, that's crazy because Chelsea in modern football history have been a big team, a big force, Champions League winners, Premier League winners. Roman Abramovich has brought that level of a standard to the squad, which wasn't ever compromised. And if it was, there was still a trophy in their hands, and it would be like a Champions League or do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it seems odd that they've gone from that to a team that's their model is now buying young players with a view to sell them on, and it doesn't. It was never a thing where Chelsea players were up for grabs. Really,
no.
Like,
but it's the Todd Bowley way. This is the Todd Bowley way. He's open. I think what he's thinking, like, I don't know if this is an American thing as well, but obviously America's like team sports. There's squads get broken up a lot. It's always about the rebuild. It's always about the we got. And that's how he's running it. You know what I mean? Like, if he thinks, like, bottom line, then I sort of agree. Like, I play a silly football chairman game on my phone. It's very simple. But the biggest choice you have on it is when your 99 rated striker, who's 31, someone puts in 110 mil bid for him. Now, do you take what you've got behind you is only 96, but they're young, they're 19. A couple of years down the line, they're going to be a 99. But you're losing that 99 for 2 years for 110, 130 mil. And my answer is yes as well. That is our role. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, after that, it's a depreciating asset that you're talking not even half of what that offer was. You're talking a third. You know what I mean? You're down a full. Like, I can see his point of view. So yeah, if someone comes in, offers the big money for Cole Palmer, I don't think there would blink of an eyelid from him, to be quite honest with you. And I don't think the manager would have a say in the matter either.
No, he definitely wouldn't. He's the coach. He's the
coach.
New age coach. You're there to coach, and we fill in the players, and that's why they have a director of football, and they try and bring in the next batch of players. Like, yeah, look, I can see if let's say a Real Madrid or a Barcelona wanted a Moses Caicedo, and Chelsea could recoup their money with a little bit of change, he goes.
100%. 130 mil, Caicedo would join Real Madrid. That's what it would take, obviously, because of what they paid for it. But that's what Chelsea are about. That's what I mean about Cole Palmer. They only paid 40 mil for him. So what they'll be thinking is, right now, his stock's at his highest. Yeah. If someone does offer 120 mil, that's the highest we're probably ever going to get money-wise for him. And it becomes a business. Like, the footballing decision is not even taken into account. It's just not. We've got players. Like, and this is what my point is. Like, how much worse is the one behind it? Are you talking 5 goals a season, 4 goals a season? You know what I mean? Like, what are you losing if you let him go? And that's what it become for Chelsea. It's a business decision.
And I think the top owner would be rubbing his hands at the moment, thinking, "Look, Cole Palmer's not in the squad, and we're doing really well.
Exactly,
so if there was a big money offer for him, we could move on. We can handle life."
I think that if you got offered 120 mil for Cole Palmer, you didn't take it. You're crazy, because I think he's one of the most grossly overhyped players in the Premier League. He's very good. He's very, very good. But I'm seeing people talking about him with the greats, and it's just no, it's not.
It's frustrating because we both really like a Cole Palmer type player.
I like him a lot, but he's not.
But people are like missing out big. What's the word I'm looking for? They're missing out big checkpoints that in his career to say he is of that level. Yeah. So you're missing out. Prior to this season, you were talking about Ballon d'Or, this and that. He hadn't played in the Champions League, bar what he'd done with Man City. So
4 games, weren't it? I think it was 4 games he played. Like,
and it totaled up for 90 minutes in those 4 games. Like, so why are you telling me that Cole Palmer, who hasn't played in the Champions League, who barely gets an international cap, is one of the best players in the world right now? Because that's how you've got to prove it. You've got to prove it at that level. You can't just say, "Well, it's playing well in the Prem." No, because it doesn't work like that. Do you know how many players we've seen playing the Prem when they go to the international level? Ain't quite that. Go to Champions League, ain't quite there. It takes time in the Champions League. Over a couple of seasons, we progress. We see that in progression in players. But to say he's that now, and wonder why he's not getting these awards and stuff like that. This is ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. Top 3 players in the Premier League, top 3 players in Europe. I'm hearing like what?
No,
top 5 in the world.
Man.
Like what? Like what? Like no. He had that exceptional season, the first season that he played with for Chelsea. Yeah, and he will not live up to that season again. It was outstanding.
Not on current form. What we've seen so far. I know he's injured again at the moment, but what we've seen since, he won't.
And plus, the way they played is everything went for him, everything to their detriment. So when they were playing, when he wasn't at it, they weren't at it, and they can't afford to do that. They need to have a way of having him as a main player in the team, but not being the sole reason why they tick.
Yeah,
it's dangerous doing that, when, especially at a big club, and like because it only takes one injury and you're done for. You're absolutely done for. And he's not Messi, he's not Ronaldo, so
no, exactly.
You ain't building your team around them like that. So yeah, a lot of love for Cole Palmer, but just calm down on the hype. Because it ain't good for him either.
Right.
Building up too many expectations for him, and then it's just not going to achieve him, and then you can start putting pressure on these players. That
crumbling.
Part of the reason probably why Cole Palmer had that first season because there wasn't that pressure that he was going to do everything. Now, as soon as he gets the ball, the crowd, you can hear the crowd lift. You can hear, oh, they're waiting, hey, like, and this added pressure. So yeah,
exactly.
Cole Palmer's a top player. He ain't. You're not that guy. You're not that guy, buddy. You're not that guy. All right. Before we go quickly, worried about this game, Garth?
Yeah, at the moment, mate. 54 minutes in, 1-0 down. Still not seeing much from United. Like I say, very bitty game. I could see this staying 1-0. Quite honestly, from what I've seen. But
you don't need that. A draw would not be a great result, but it stops that loss. You don't want that L on there. Yeah. You want to keep that good run, and although you did drop points against Tottenham, getting the draw in the end,
in the last minute, exactly.
Doesn't put that red mark on your team.
No, exactly.
All right. That's all we have time for tonight. Thank you for everyone who joined us. Thank you for everyone who's joined us on Twitter. Press that share button, press that like, press that retweet. Really appreciate it. If you're watching on KS1 TV, press that like and press that share button. It makes a massive difference. And after the show, apparently there's hype buttons. Do us a favor, give that little hype. Hope it pushes us to the top page. So when people are searching for things like football podcasts and football news and Man United, Arsenal, whatever, that will pop up. So it makes a big difference. If you are on TikTok platform, go and follow Kieran AFC, building nicely at 6.8k at the moment, trying to get to that 10k.
On the road to 10k, on the road to it.
Both of them. And you can follow the Transfer Exchange Show on TikTok as well. That is nearly 8k on that one as well. Garth started off. Yeah, so you can go and follow me on TikTok. That is at 7-something K. Again, we're looking to get to 10k by the end of the year. I will be doing a giveaway on that. I'll be doing that on TikTok. So if you go and give us a follow, it gives you opportunity to be involved in that giveaway as well. Things are really building nicely on that platform. And like I said before, I share the wealth. If you've helped support and helped get me to those numbers, I share that. I share that wealth because you get things like brand deals, you get people approach you, and those things I will be doing giveaways with as well. So get over to TikTok, go and follow Kieran AFC, and go and follow the Transfer Exchange Show. Big appreciations there. Couldn't have Steve tonight, but hopefully we can get him back next week as it's getting to that time again for the transfer news to start bubbling under. If you're an Arsenal fan, don't expect it. It's not going to come your way. But I'm sure Steve will have a little bit of news next week on the murmurings that are happening underneath at some of these clubs. Maybe managers out, in or out, as they do the okey-cokey manager roulette before Christmas, before the January transfer window. And go and follow Garth as well. You can go and find him on TikTok as well. You can go and find him on Below the Line Media, which is a different channel, which is more about TV, films, and movies. But if you're into that, go and follow us on that one as well. Appreciate your support. Peace out, people. Stay safe. And I've just fluffed my lines because I was meant to be... that was meant to be a smooth transition as peace out, people, stay safe, and then I lock off. But I couldn't find the button. That's what happens with live TV. Peace out, people. Stay safe. Thanks for the support.